Hello everybody and welcome back in 2019. Welcome back in Planet Coaster and also welcome back to Isla Napali. It is the next episode after this kind of a little feedback-ish discussing episode where I did tell you a few things about what we are going to do in the next couple of episodes, and also I responded to all of your feedback. Well, I did not really respond to all of your feedback, simply because it was just too much to cover in one video. Hence, I'm going to talk a little bit about these things you guys also mentioned in the feedback video, but also beforehand. While you are seeing the footage of me doing the little shop, we are going to talk about this shop later on as well, because this is also an object of one of the biggest feedbacks, or kind of the most important feedbacks. But let's start first of all with the feedback in general, which has been 2 episodes ago. Many of you also mentioned that the entrance area in general needs a little bit of refurbishment, and I'm fully with you. There are a few things that I do need to address though, and one of them being, after a long time thinking about it, I think I agree with most of you guys stating that there is no need for an additional ticket booth, since we do have the ticket booth, or kind of the resale of tickets, on the mainland or on the boat bringing people to this island. However, we're gonna have definitely kind of little information kiosk thingies within the entrance area. We're gonna make some turnstiles in, also gonna bring in some more, signatures and signages, so that people also know where to go and what to do. So all these kind of things will be done. There will be also be a let's call it kind of main office room, if that makes sense, or kind of a control central. That's something I'm thinking of for quite a while already, since we want to go into this kind of hyper-realism thing. We definitely need a control room. And I do actually agree with the fact that we need to finally look into more of the energy stuff and so on. So please don't stop giving me feedback about these energy things and where my energy stuff has to be put. I desperately want to do the blender models of the electricity poles and stuff now, but I just didn't found the time to do so right now, but I hope I'll be able to do this in the next couple of days. I'm quite optimistic though that this is gonna be working out the way I'm planning to at the moment. But I'm really keen to see, and I'm really curious to see where this all is going in the near future, because, as I said, your feedback is so super helpful, and many of you have been joining this series lately. Also, big thanks, by the way, to Brocosa, who did, or Masked Bandit. Actually, it's both bros did review the park. Not really review, but they showed it in their stream. Really thanks also to their amendments, because they had some great feedback as well, which we're going to talk about in Sunday's episode, since there is already a episode recorded for Sunday. So this time might be the first time in a while that I can't really respond to your feedback in the next episode. Or maybe I can, because I haven't recorded the voiceover now, so maybe I'm going to do this later. Yeah, you know what, I can definitely. The footage won't be reacting to it, but my voiceover might be. So please go on and keep feedbacking everything you see, because in this episode there might be as well some stuff, and I will need your feedback as well for some stuff regarding the shop in detail. So that's gonna be something I definitely need. I think one thing we also have to talk about is the choice of the flat ride. We are not going to tackle the flat ride in this episode. However, it is definitely, I think, a easy choice to go with the overpower now. This is the one most of you guys chose in the comment sections. So I think, yeah, this is pretty easy. And also, as Kane said, maybe it's better to save the drop towers for something else. One very important thing we have to talk about is, and I think this is something I have been talking about in the beginning of the series quite a lot, but lucky me and lucky you, and I'm super fortunate to say that this series really kicked off lately. The views got way better than before, which I'm super happy about. The feedback got not better, it was always great, but there is lots more feedback recently, which is also great, and I hope we can keep that up quite a bit. But I think, consequently, not everybody has been here from the beginning, and so they missed maybe this point. And what I'm trying to say now is this whole park is not a super high value theme park out there only in Hawaiian styled area. That's not the thing. We are not having billions of money to spend. This is a theme park that has been made out of a budget park. And it still is kind of a budget park. So it's not a Disney-ish like park. It's not a Europa park. It's not a, I don't know, Six Flags. However, Six Flags is maybe, it doesn't really look. Anyways, let's not talk about that. It is not that highly themed park in terms of having a lot of money. And also we have to address the fact that we have been starting the whole series and the area kind of the wrong way, which is only based in the fact that I wanted to start off from the coast. But realistically speaking, I would have needed to start from more inner island area where the oldest stuff is placed. So one of the older rides is the octopus ride, or the octopus ride I should say. This has been relocated, as we talked about when the Big Dipper coaster has been installed. They just moved the octopus ride to a new position where it can also be a bit better connected with the octopus foundation that also be founded in this park, so to save the octopi around this island, octopuses around this island. So and please don't forget about this. This is a budget park. So I'm as much as I love RMC coasters, and as much as I love the hybrid ones, and I want to create them, there is not much room for a modern coaster left. We have the Big Dipper and we have the B&M Dive coaster now, whereas the B&M Dive coaster or the Big Dipper, I can't really decide which one is the latest addition to the park. I would assume it is this one over here, the dive coaster, since I think technology-wise this is the hardest one to achieve. In terms of the overall canyon, it has to be kind of used to the max, and all the structures and also the flooding prevention, which we are going to come in the next episode. We're going to talk about this. So yeah, in the end, this might be the newest addition to the park. However, the Big Dipper coaster hasn't been done way too much earlier. It's maybe 1 or 2 years earlier. That's it. But everything else we are going to build in the future of this series will be in the past of Isla Napali. So we are going to build more older style rides, and also technology-wise older rides. So for example, if I'm going to build a wooden coaster, it won't be a kind of GCI-ish, very modern, fast wooden roller coaster. That's not the point. It will be a very old, standardish, let's say, just a little bit ejector airtime wooden coaster. Pretty simple, not that long, maybe a bit more terrain interacting than usual because we do have it over here and we can use it. But that's pretty much about it. There is not much more I can really say about that. I definitely think that I have to remind you of this. Even though your feedback is amazing, I want to make sure that you do feedback in a good way, that it does make sense, because you can also give me the feedback. Oh, I want to see let's say a B&M Hyper, or I want to see a flying coaster. That's super cool. It's awesome that you would like me to build that, but it doesn't fit in the park. So I really want to go for something more on the also story-wise realism aspect of this park, and story-wise we all have to agree that there has to be at some point also a past of this park, a history. To talk about the history, there needs to be one, and we have to create this still, but it is there. And I'm always happy about stories you guys come up with. So for example, the whole thing about the octopuses, for example, it's not my idea. That's been something from the comments. I just loved it so much that we are just going to take that over, and this is part of our story we are writing, which I think I love. And I will need a lot of new stories in the near future. So for example, what is the story about this B&M dive coaster? We don't have a story about that yet. Sylvcomp did a great job in actually giving us the first steps of it, and we can build on that. So yeah, I think technology-wise this is kind of an achievement. Maybe this is the story behind, but what has been here in the past, because I like the idea, I like I quite like the idea that this park always uses stuff from the past. So this is also why, and this is what I was starting the whole episode with, but now we finally arrived at the point where we talk about this gift shop. So this is the reason why the gift shop is located over here and not really at the exit of the ride. I do know, however, that the exit of the ride would be the way better spot to put a gift shop, since this is how things work. You come off the coaster still having adrenaline in your veins, being happy about the ride you have, and you're way more willing to purchase stuff. I do definitely know about that. It's like shopper behavioral wise, this location is the best one to use, no doubt about that. But it definitely is also nothing I can do right here, because we used basically an old structure, and I imagine that this might have been, I don't know, maybe it has been another cargo hangar, for example, or maybe this is the area where we had a little bit of a little it's not an airport, but kind of a little how these airplanes called, like for the nature, these kind of nature airplanes or water airplanes, I don't know, no, not water, but kind of nature airplanes that do land pretty much just in the middle of nowhere, as in Jurassic Park 3, when they just land in the middle of the little stripe of land. I don't know. This is something I was kind of going for here. So we do have this building over here for a reason, and Silphcomp then used this building to actually make the station of the B&M dive coaster into it. And yeah, if you have a more creative story, please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm always super excited to read all your creative ideas about stories, what this has been made of and why this is here. And you know, it all gives the whole thing a bit more character, I should say. I think character is the best word about what we're talking about here. Anyhow, there's another thing I need feedback on, and this is kind of the souvenirs we have. So we do have some souvenirs on the workshop, being it t-shirts and some Gulpy plushies. But what do you think? What would you realistically see in that shop? So we are going to try and make some of the stuff. If you're good in 3D modeling, hey, you could also just model it and import it via the TMT, and we just place it here. So if you want to have an item used by me, this would be the chance. If you would be there to create a plushie or whatever, a little dive coaster, or maybe it's even kind of a diving character or whatever, like a little diver. I don't know if that suits, but this was kind of the idea I had in mind while doing the gift shop. For now, we just have some sodas and a little bit of a how's it even called? Oh yeah, the Gulpy plushie, that's it. I just noticed that I was missing a point, that this actually is still in this episode. I started to make this little flooding prevention wall, I should say. It's more like less a retaining wall. But I just placed it here. It's a placeholder for the moment. I'm going to do this a little bit more in detail later on. The basic idea about this is that we want to prevent the overall the big canyon from being flooded. On the other hand of the island, we do have kind of a natural border, which is done by the hills and by the nature. But on this side of the overall structure, overall island, we don't have it. So there needs to be something to make sure that this is not going to be flooded. Also, we're going to have a pumping system down below in the canyon that is helping with it. But yeah, hey, as there is a real-life canyon on Kauai, which obviously, yes, it is separated from mountains, and yes, potentially this is some different stuff, but there is a canyon, so it realistically is possible, and it is working with having the canyon going below sea level. But yeah, we should definitely do our best to prevent this thing from being flooded. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm happy to be back in Isla Napali in January finally, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know all your feedback about various things we've been talking about, and enjoy your Friday. See you on Sunday with this stuff, and make sure to keep an eye on this space for tomorrow's special episode of 3D modeling. So until then, have a great day, and see you next time. Bye bye.